Okay, Itamaksistiko, good day. It is the late afternoon of Wednesday, October 4th, 2017, in the lunar cycle Awakatsikitsum, the deer moon. And I am out here in some bullberry patches along the Old Man River. I call them bullberries, or Miksinitsim in Blackfoot, which means the red berry. But I think the common name is thorny buffalo berry. And so that's probably the name that I'm going to use on the title of the video, just so that people looking up buffalo berry are going to come across it. In any case, I'm out here to harvest some of these berries today. I was going to wait to start the video until this train passed by on the high-level bridge, but that's reality at Lethbridge, and you know, birds don't stop eating just because the train's going by, and beavers don't stop getting their winter food cache ready and such, etc. So I figured I might as well get started on this. Just as a side note to begin with, Kevin Hicks, my friend, I've got the Benchmade knife. Got this in the mail yesterday. Really nice little care package. I love it. Really easy to operate with one hand. It's got these little nodes on there. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, I'm right-handed, so my thumb goes right there. Very easy to open the blade. It has a nice lock on it, a nice strong lock, and that lock can also be easily disengaged. I use my index finger, disengage it, and yeah, it's very easy to operate with one hand. So Kevin had seen my video with the skunk where it had the Slurpee thing caught around his neck, and I was trying to tear the thing off with my bare hands, and he said, man, you need to be carrying a pocket knife. Would you be interested in having one of these Benchmade knives if I sent you one? And I was like, oh, of course, right? So he sent me one. It's a really nice knife. It came with a really nice little kind of a almost silk case and stuff. I'm not going to carry that silk case around in my pocket, but I will be carrying this, and so look for it on future videos. I'm sure I'll be using it out here in the field for various things. But thanks a lot, man. This is a really nice gift, and I won't be caught without it again. So, bullberries, buffalo berries, Miksinitsim. I promised over the weekend when I made a video, kind of a ecology phenology tour video out here, that I would demonstrate the method that I used to harvest these berries. Now, I have done a video demonstration before. It's in my channel under the, if you look in the nature studies playlist, you're going to find it in there. But because I didn't label as buffalo berries, I don't think a lot of people are hitting it, which is okay. I mean, it's not bad to keep a method secret, but but I'm also all about public education, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through it again. Plus, I've gained a lot of new subscribers, and I'm sure a good portion of those are local folks who might want to know this little trick. So, or a couple of little tricks I'm going to show you. There's one with harvesting, and then there's one with cleaning your harvest. So this trick that I'm going to show you comes from a Napi story. Napi is the trickster in the Blackfoot tradition. Trickster being like coyote in a lot of other native traditions, or the Kokopelli, you know, the guy who in the Blackfoot stories, Napi literally refers to kind of an old man who's become white because he's so old, hey? And but he's an old pervert, and he's self-centered, and you know, self-serving, and this is, Napi stories are kind of positioned way back during the last glaciation, and so they explain a lot of and they talk about a lot of the changes that happened there, and to me they seem to indicate that there was a human contribution to that giant climate change that occurred, right? So there's a lot of Napi stories, and this technique I'm going to show comes from one of those stories. And what happened in that story is that Napi is sitting by the bank of the river, by the cut bank, and he sees in the water these red berries, delicious looking red berries, and so he jumps in to try to get at them, and there's nothing there. So he comes out and he can't understand what the heck can't find the berries. The water's all moving around. He doesn't see them anymore, so he gets back out on the cut bank again. And then pretty soon the water clears up and he sees the berries again. So he jumps in and goes after them, and he can't find the berries in the water. Now he's really steamed. So he gets back out, and as he's getting out, he looks up above him and he realizes the berries were up above all the while, and what he was seeing was just the reflection. And so then he gets mad and he takes a stick and he starts beating up the berry bush, and it drops all its berries, and he feasts on them. There's real important messages in that story. They're subtle, you can think about it, but the method of harvest for these buffalo berries or bull berries comes from that story. And so in order to harvest them, you need a stick, like Napi used, a stick to beat up the bushes. You're not going to actually injure these bushes, like the Napi story. Like some people, unfortunately, some people take this story too literally, and they go out and they carry a big club with them and they really bash the bushes, and then those bushes don't produce again, you know, or at least for a long time they won't produce again. That's unfortunate. When Walter McClintock, he was an early kind of travelogue who came through here, an ethnographer in his own way, but not a trained anthropologist or anything. He traveled along what's called the Old North Trail on the east side of the Rockies here, came up through Blackfoot territory, and he had some Blackfoot guides. One of the places he stopped was on the current day Peak Gunny Reserve, and he talked to an old man there who was a beaver man, an Iachgimi like myself, named Natotsi Anipi, Brings Down the Sun. And Brings Down the Sun invited him to eat as many berries as he wants off the bushes there in their camp area. But he said, but don't be like those other guys over there. He is actually talking about the Bloods, named them. I didn't necessarily want to say that, but oh well. So he says, don't be like them. You know, don't be beaten on the bushes with sticks, because we want them to continue to produce. So there's a gentle technique to use. You don't have to be Napi, right? You can still get your share without really hurting the bushes. The other thing you're going to need is a canvas drop, some kind of a drop cloth. A nice bed sheet works well. If you're with a few people, you know, one of the things about picking berries, especially these kind of berries, but in general, this used to be the thing that women would go out and harvest. Like men didn't harvest berries in the past. It was women's work, and groups of women would go out and do it together, and it was a good time because you're having a good visit while you're doing it. I used to host a class at Red Crow College on the Blood Reserve where I would bring my class out. It's called a traditional foods class, and it ran year-round, 3 semesters, so that we could take part of all the different harvests in the year and teach the whole annual round. And we really enjoyed coming out and picking the bullberries. In fact, there was one couple who kind of fell in love in the process of picking the bullberries. They just recently got married, Clayton King and Angela Whitegrass. So there was a love affair that came out of that. But yeah, you know, when you're picking berries together, you're really bonding and stuff. And so it's nice to have at least 3 people, 2 to hold the drop tarps and 1 to be the beater, right? But if you don't have multiple people, there is a way to still practice this harvest technique solo. And this actually, who came up with this was Clayton and Angela during the course of my class. They came up with a new modern technique, and that technique incorporates good old umbrella. So you want an umbrella, if you're going to do this solo, you want an umbrella that, see if this thing even opens still. Oh yes. You want an umbrella shaped like this, hey? Has a good kind of catch basin on it, right? That's going to take the place of your tarp that's held by others, and you can bring the branch down and just hang it using the umbrella's hook. Hang the umbrella right off, right? So the time to harvest these is now. Like we just had our first snow and some serious, you know, -6, -7 degree weather. So these berries are going to be ripe now. They're going to be ready to fall off. That's when you want to pick. You don't, even though they're there earlier in the summer, you don't harvest them earlier in the summer. You wait until you get the freeze. Otherwise, they're not going to come off the vine, as you'll see here. So all you got to do, you're going to hold the end of a branch. Hold the end of a branch, and then you're going to tap that branch that you're holding. Just tap, tap, tap. Don't break the bark, you know. Try not to injure the plant. And the berries are going to fall off. And you just go from branch to branch doing this. Now in the process, you're going to get some of the berries that are kind of sun-dried. Probably going to get some insects. Definitely going to get a lot of leaves and stuff. I'm going to show you how to take care of all that stuff afterward when we go back to my house. I'll show you the easy cleaning technique. But this is the easy gathering technique. And if I'm out here for an hour doing this, I'm gonna get so many berries. It's not even funny. The thing is, you need to have a plan on how you're gonna process and use the berries. Because these berries, in the past, these berries, you have to use them during the season, right? During the winter season when you're harvesting. They're one of those kind of macrobiotic foods, you might say. You don't store them for later because they just don't store. You know, the past way of storing pretty much everything was just to sun dry it. That's not going to work with these berries. They don't sun dry. So, but nowadays, you know, we got the deep freeze. So I throw mine in the deep freeze. And then we make things like, I always add in these into my morning smoothies. And then we make jelly out of them. We make syrup out of them. You know, all the kind of normal things that you can do with berries, you can do with these. The old style was to take some seriously cold, you know, glacier melt, snow melt water, mix it with the berries and stir them around, and they kind of foam up. And it's almost like a dessert, hey? It's kind of a berry foamy dessert that you would eat. And so, but it was only enjoyed in the season. So I'm going to continue knocking a bunch of berries into my umbrella, do a little harvest here, and then I'll bring the whole operation home and show you how to clean that. My umbrella's getting heavy with berries for the second time already. I dumped one into my bag here, so I'm going to dump this other one in. And on top of, you know, this, I've been out here about an hour, and I feel like my technique is starting to get sloppy, hey? Like as you go along, there's a there's an attrition rate to, you know, how well you're finessing the berries and the bushes and stuff like that. And, you know, not wanting to carry the wrong attitude while I'm harvesting or anything, and not wanting to hurt the bushes. When I start to feel that slip in technique just a little bit, I know that it's probably time to wrap up and take this stuff out of here. Go home and clean it out. Okay, so I'm back home now. I'm going to clean my berries. So what you need to do that is a pot, and you just dump the berries, the leaves, everything right into the pot. And I got too much to do all in one shot, so I'll do it in two shots. You want to fill your pot maybe halfway full of your berries and leaves and stuff. And then you're going to put water till you're about, well, much higher than that. Just fill it up with water. Water's got to go well over the height of the berries, So I'll fill it till it's all like maybe 3/4 of the way full, this pot.
I already start pulling up some of those leaves.
But there's still a lot of berries mixed in yet. I gotta wait till the water's a little bit higher.
I don't know, I've seen a lot of leaves that we could have just pulled out.
Alright, that's high enough. So, yeah, so what you want to do is mix it up, and what's going to happen is the good berries are going to sink to the bottom, and the top stuff is going to be all like either berries that are kind of sun-dried, or there's going to be leaves, you know, all that kind of stuff is going to be up at the top. See, this is mostly all just leaves and sun-dried berries that I'm able to pull out of here. Make sure you swish it good so that the good berries all get separated from the stuff. Sink down. Yeah, you can use a little scoop. In there and mix up the bottom, make sure any other more leaves will float to the top. Way easier than trying to, by hand, pick the leaves and rotten berries out. Alright, then I'm going to need a strainer. Where's our strainer? Strainer, pour this in. There you go, there's all your good berries. Throw them in a Ziploc bag, throw them in the deep freeze.
Or dry them.
Dry them? No, they don't dry, these ones. These ones don't dry very good. Pretty much either have to freeze them or turn them into something.
You tried them before. They were
I've
good.
tried. They get kind of, most of them get ruined. Yeah, that's how you separate them and clean them. Piece of cake.